Miss Roseanne Paruma. Today, we will be going through some important skills that you will need as you progress in your career. Module 1. Learn the art of professionalism. Working with your boss. Now that you are employed and a positive contributor to the economy, there are some guidelines that you must follow at the workplace. You need to carry yourself professionally, especially when addressing your boss. These encounters need to be handled with care and consideration. You want to give the right impression at all times. Here are some tips on how to address your boss. The first step you can take is to develop a positive relationship with your boss. That is based on trust. How can you do this? Make sure you keep your word on the projects or tasks that your boss assigns you. Never blindside your boss when things go wrong, especially when you commit errors or just when things do not go as planned. Keep your boss and your team informed about the timeline of your projects and the progress that you are making. Be open and share information. If you do make an error, tell your boss about it. Do not cover up your mistake or put the blame on someone else. Owning mistakes shows you have integrity and are willing to take accountability for your actions. But more importantly, learn from your mistake and do better. And communicate this to your boss. Second, make sure that you define success at a team level. In other words, it is not just about you. It is about knowing and understanding your boss's goals and priorities. Additionally, try to understand the challenges that the company faces. Your work should contribute to achieve your company's objectives as well as your boss and your team's goals. By identifying your boss's weaknesses and challenges that the company faces, you will better know how you can help contribute to the objectives and priorities of your company. Third, identify and learn from the best traits or strengths of your boss. Just like everyone, your boss has positive and negative traits. When you focus on the negatives, you will create a feeling of discontent. Instead, focus on the positive attributes. Commend or compliment your boss on work done well. Make him or her feel respected and valued. Fourth, know the style preference of your boss. Some bosses may have a very particular way of doing things, in a style that they feel comfortable and see fit. So it's good for you to model your work style according to your boss's style preference. You have to acknowledge that the boss has more expertise in the area and is more likely more knowledgeable in the business and its processes. So make sure you strive to meet the standards and be willing to go above and beyond. But this does not mean that you will have to agree with everything that your boss says, especially when you have ideas on how to improve the outcomes. In such situations, talk to your boss and present your idea. Be respectful and adjust to the work style preference of your boss, but never hold back to communicate ideas that you believe will work for better results. Fifth, learn and try to read your boss's moods and reactions. Understanding how they are feeling may help better communicate with them. For example, if your boss has a major project deadline that must be dealt with, it's best not to disturb them with petty questions or requests. Instead, properly time your consultation about your work problems when he has less on his plate. Or you may opt to consult with another expert like a senior member of the team and just update your boss later. Sixth, learn from your bosses. They always have something to teach you. Remember that they have a higher position than you because they are more knowledgeable and possess skills that are valuable to the company. You can learn these skills that they have. Remember the feedback your bosses provides you and apply the inputs or advices they give you so you can improve your work. Make every encounter with your boss a learning moment. Seventh, Always make sure to ask for feedback about the work you have done. Your boss could be your coach, mentor, and closest ally to help progress your career. Make sure your boss knows what you have accomplished and genuinely ask for feedback. And seek for opportunity to help, to learn, and to grow your skills. Eighth, know that time is valuable. Avoid wasting your boss's and anyone else's precious time. You should always keep in mind that when you schedule a meeting with your boss, that you should come prepared with a list of questions if you have any and with updates or information that you are expected to report on. When you need to present a problem, try to think of solutions, presenting several options as much as possible. Remember, be honest and discuss the problems or difficulties you face at work, but also present yourself as a problem solver, offering solution options that you, the boss, and the team can discuss and agree together. Ninth, keep confidential matters confidential. There are sensitive work information that may be shared with you by your boss. This indicates that your boss trusts you and your judgment. Ensure that you handle this information appropriately. Even if no warning of confidentiality was given you, if you are not sure, treat the information as confidential. The easiest way to lose the trust of another is to share information inappropriately. Addressing your coworkers. There are many kinds of people that you will encounter at the workplace. This section will outline some traits and styles commonly observed among worker groups and some tips on how to deal with them. There is nothing worse than feeling stuck with negative colleagues, those who seem to consistently bring down the quality of the team as well as your own work output. How these people carry themselves and their work could affect you and your attitude and the perspective as well. It is therefore best to learn how to address different personalities appropriately. The first type is called the hot mess. You may find some coworkers who seem incompetent and unreliable. This type is sometimes called the hot mess. They have the potential to lower productivity for the whole team, if not the company, and are constantly struggling to do their work. They would perennially need the help of others, oftentimes depending on them to pick up their slack, or really just do their work for them, thereby causing the delays, chaos, and frustrations among those who are actually doing the work and contributing. The best way to handle this situation is to provide them skill building activities like extra training or coaching. Remember, efficiency within the workplace can only be achieved when everyone is contributing. The second type is called the slacker. These persons are those who are always finding ways to avoid the work assigned to them. They often procrastinate, wasting other people's time, energy, and enthusiasm. Such people often lean to others who then have to work double time in order to pick up the slacker's share in order to meet deadlines. To deal with such personalities, you should explore ways to communicate and set clear expectations and list deliverables for everyone to adhere to in the workplace. Setting clear deadlines and promoting cooperation among employees is advisable. Holding such people accountable to their work can and will prove helpful in getting the slackers to become more cautious of their behaviors and contributions to the company dynamics. Imposing oversight on their work and conducting frequent check-ins can also ensure that their work is completed on time. Then there is the martyr. They are often the opposite of slackers. They tend to undertake more work than they can handle, thereby appearing to be overachievers. These personalities rely on others being attentive to the work that they have put in. They often have control issues, avoiding having to delegate or share workload with others. In order to prove how good and capable they are. Such people can create unrest in the workplace, as they could undermine the ability of others, as if to show they are the only ones who can be trusted to do the job. Unknowingly, they can be at risk of burnout, which could deteriorate their physical and mental health. To deal with such people, it is best to ensure that work is equally divided among your workers or teammates. Finally, there is the socialite. This type of personality is often portrayed as being funny, entertaining, and everyone's best friend. Such people treat the workplace as a social event and are always looking to involve themselves in gossip or group events. They can be fun to be around from time to time, but they can become a distraction when there's a lot of work that needs to be done. These people can be seen to take coffee breaks too often or lunch breaks that take too long. To deal with such personality type, it is best to set clear work schedules and responsibilities way ahead of time. Addressing junior members of the team. It is equally important to address appropriately workers who report to you or are of lower position than you. Note that because of your higher rank, you can be perceived as one in a power position. Ensure to project a stance of fairness and openness despite the perception of authority or power. Take note to strive to extend good management practices, especially at critical times at the workplace. A few things to remember when addressing someone in junior levels relative to you. Provide structure. Giving them deadlines and due dates will help them be organized and have some sense of guidance. All your direct reports must have clear set goals. Give them leadership and guidance. They look up to you to set the example of how to carry oneself at the workplace. They would need to know how the office works and what skills and abilities they have to exemplify and develop. Plan and spend a lot of time teaching them how things are meant to be done. Invest time in explaining to them the workflow dynamics. This means discussing with them work schedules and expectations, reports and processes that they need to perform, what are expected of them as deliverables, and how they need to perform the work to benefit from it. Motivate your people to always have a can-do attitude. You should always encourage them to do the work and think positively even when it gets hard, to keep trying even when it may seem impossible. Break down the work in chunks or smaller pieces for them to visualize and feel they are accomplishing and getting closer to completion. Teaching your team members the step-by-step process of the work will help them see the flow and order as well as how to get to successful completion. When you break things down in smaller or bite sizes, you help make even the hardest tasks seem easy and fulfilling. Acknowledge their good work and contribution and celebrate successes. Acknowledge the benefit of having a team. Make sure you enable a fun working environment where people work in teams to get tasks done and achieve their goals. Listen to people, especially those below you. They may have a newer, fresher perspectives that you may have missed out on. Being open to new ideas will help you learn and see old things with new lens. When they have some concerns, encourage them to speak up while you listen. That's what good leaders do. They listen to the people above them, their peers, and especially to their juniors. They motivate and build the morale within the team. Challenge and change. This means to keep the work environment exciting. There's many ways to achieve the objectives. Strive for improvement and efficiency. Make the work fun and keep the team enthusiastic by being a passionate leader and a good role model